Hey, this is Ryan. I'm here with the band H2O, who just put out a covers record called Don't Forget Your Roots. Putting out any record, there's a bit of pressure to, write, record, and all that. Do you feel like there was more or less pressure doing this record? The songs were already written, but to actually, do these songs that, made you guys the band that you are today.
Not so much pressure, but a little bit of perfection more, because we're still friends with a lot of these bands, and they're our friends. We look up to them, so we want to make sure we give the songs justice, but also didn't give them a little H2O flavor also. Yeah. So it was cool when we started getting mixes, and we can send them out to our friends. Hey, check it out, and actually sent Civ like two different versions of Cats and Dogs, and to see what his opinion was on him, and because he's my friend, I respect his opinion. So, we definitely wanted to do him justice, so where the people didn't hear him and were like, "Oh, that sounds like crap."
Yeah, there's
or,
actually a couple of the artists we got to collaborate with, where we got to send them the mixes, and they would come back with suggestions. Yeah. So in a way, they kind of contributed to it too.
Madball
and Dickie, Boston
as well,
and Boston as well.
Yeah. So that was cool to be able to do that and get their outside perspective on it, because we've heard the songs a million times, but then when we recording them and singing them, it's a whole different story, Yeah. Yeah, really no pressure, right?
No, I think going into it, there was really no pressure because we were like, oh, these are our favorite songs. We heard them a million times. But definitely when it came down to the fine tuning, it wasn't so much stress, but we definitely paid a little more attention to what we were doing.
Tweaking of them, yeah.
It was definitely fun for us.
Yeah, I think that says it all.
Cool. All right. This is your second record with Bridge 9. How's that relationship been?
So far, so good. Yeah.
It's weird. It's actually like, I think if you actually really think about it, it's like our seventh record, because we did like Nothing to Prove, then we did the New York 7-inch, then we did the DC 7-inch and the California 7-inch, and then it's actually like our fifth actual Bridge 9 release. And so far, it's been great. They're a great label for us. They treat us great. Yeah. It's a perfect fit. They're like if H2O was a label, it would probably be Bridge 9. Cool.
Is there a favorite on the album? I mean, I know they have to all be favorites, but if you could pick one, what is your favorite to play, or have you played any of them yet?
Played them yesterday at practice.
Yeah, this will be this. We've played the Mabel cover out, the Gorilla Biscuits cover out, and
Bad Brains out.
We never played Bad Brains out
in Europe.
We never played Bad
Brains. Oh, it was in my dreams.
Yeah, in his dreams. Cro-Mag's out. So tonight we'll actually be playing most of these songs for the first time live. So you have to ask us that question after the show, maybe. We'll answer.
Said Gun, my favorite.
Said Gun's fun. Yeah, Said Gun's really fun.
It's fun to play. And the Dag Nasty.
Dag Nasty's fun. They're all fun, in their way.
Yeah.
They're all. It's interesting because when you play other people's music, you kind of, it breaks you out of your usual game, your usual pattern. So they're all kind of a trip to play, and they're all exciting because they're new.
Cool. I guess it kind of plays into my next question, more towards Toby. How was it? Vocal patterns, like obviously all these bands offer something different for you to sing on.
I mean, I definitely. The songs that we picked were definitely ones that we knew we could definitely put H2O flavor on them. The one that was pretty difficult was Satyagraha by 7 Seconds, because his range is super high. Yeah. So that was a little challenging to do Kevin Seconds' voice, because he gets pretty high up there. But I did it. I love that. I love that one on the record. And then, I can't sing raspy like Dickie Barrett. It's not. I can't do his voice. And I wasn't trying to copy people's voices. I was just trying to get the feel. The way the songs made me feel as a kid, I was trying to, when I sang them, give the same passion back, Because a lot of these songs, I think it'd be a lot of the first time some kids hear these bands. Yeah. When we first released the song tracks for the record, we had Satyagraha playing underneath it, and these kids on YouTube were like, I've heard this H2O song before. Like, didn't even know. So,
that's what we're hoping. Yeah, kids think it's an H2O record.
It's like an educational album for kids,
Of the bands that you didn't get to pick, are there other bands that you do think kids should know about, also old and new?
We could have made a triple album.
Triple album?
Of stuff that could have gone
Underdog, Murphy's Law, Killing Time.
Agnostic Front's not on this record.
Agnostic Front.
Gray Matter.
Black Flag.
Youth of Today's not on this record.
Oh God, DI.
Scream isn't on this record.
DI
The
was
Faction.
Naked Ray Gun.
Even like really obvious bands like Minor Threats are on this record, Black Flags on
We
this
did
record.
Solid before,
But not on this record.
Hunt.
Suicidal
Yeah.
Tendencies
Egg
isn't on
Hunt
this
was
record.
What else we done?
Kingface.
So many
Yeah,
bands.
there's a ton.
Then like random weird stuff like Fishbone, The Police.
Love
We could have
Fishbone.
U2. Could have done so many bands for this
Could
record.
did hip hop songs.
Yeah.
Like at one point there was talk of doing some like non-hardcore stuff, but it would have just been. We just did the bands.
It's hard
that-
to do
It
that.
was
We did-
pretty difficult to.
Yeah, because you don't do rap rock, you know. So we ended up doing bands that you could kind of hear in H2O now. You know, there was a direct line between those bands and the way we sound. With that, you know, not some of the more ambiguous influences, just the really straightforward ones.
How many shows are you doing right now, and is there any plans for like further touring, maybe full U.S. or anything like that in the horizon?
We got these today, and then tomorrow in Philly, and then we got
4 shows in December.
Pittsburgh, Detroit,
7 in December.
Pittsburgh,
Oh, yeah,
Detroit,
the end is.
Pittsburgh, Detroit, Chicago, Buffalo, Boston,
Jersey,
Yeah,
probably
Asbury
Baltimore.
Park.
Well, we're gonna do. You know, we got a new record out. We're gonna tour. You know,
Yeah.
we're gonna stay busy.
and then West Coast in January. We have a lot of overseas stuff coming up.
Yeah, we'll stay active.
We always stay active
Yeah, we're busy man.
in our own way.
I was actually looking up some stuff today, and I saw that, you know, obviously I know that you guys took a hiatus in between Go and Nothing to Prove, but you look at all these things, and you guys didn't stop, you know, like you really just kept playing.
That's a myth. We always stay busy. We always.
We
do
still we didn't
touring
make
and
make an album for that long. We were going to South America, we were going to Japan, we were touring still, but it's just on the same old songs.
stuff.
You
Yeah,
know? So yeah, it took a little bit.
yeah, but you know, we didn't ever stop. There was no breakup or anything like that.
You
That's
can't
just
stop.
like
It's hard to
can't
stop.
stop, won't stop.
We tried stopping, it didn't work, so we kept going.
Yeah.
All right. So I do this interview as kind of a tribute to my friend who passed away due to a heroin overdose. So I just kind of want your opinions on drug addiction, if you've lived any of it or if you know people who have, like, you know, obviously not getting into detail, but just what your opinions are on the subject matter.
Like,
Obviously, addiction's a horrible thing. You know, I mean, it needs to be understood as a sickness. It's not just a haven of criminals. I think you know, I think that's the side of soundcheck. I think, you know, I think it needs to be treated as a disease, and I think people should be treated, you know, with love and compassion, and you know, try and save as many people as you can, because the road of addiction does lead to, you know, destruction and death, unfortunately. How's that for a positive spin? Thanks.
And sadly enough, we know plenty of people who have passed
we lost
from
a lot of
drugs,
friends from addiction.
drug related.
Yeah.
I think more so drug related than violence related. You would
100%.
think, growing up in New York, you would think it'd be more violence related, but it's sad. And oddly enough, there's a handful of people that you want to cut off because of their addiction, but you realize you can't. You realize you can't because it's not them. It's the drug.
You can only do so much for people and try to help them out, and to the point where it does become a little preachy and annoying to somebody, and at some point they have to take responsibility for their own actions and do it for themselves, you know. And they're like,
Your soundtrack.
I mean, some people are like, you know, they think, oh, I could smoke, and they're gonna try weed, and I'm gonna drink, and take some pills, try cocaine, then it goes to heroin, just like, you know, snowballing. You know, it's like those are all addictions, and then them combined, it goes to the big one, which I think is heroin. You know, and like,
It's hard to turn back from that.
it's hard. Like we lost two good friends of mine from addiction, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
I can't, and they weren't even 30 years old, you know, and it's sad because it's hard. I don't know, you can't really do much about it.
It is sad because I feel like a lot of bands today are also almost promoting that lifestyle, you know. Not all of them, but there's a few of the bigger acts like
The whole like elegantly wasted heroin chic, so played out. It's such a cliche, you know what I mean? And it's really irresponsible at bands, and it's really and more than irresponsible, it's just damn cheesy. Like trying to like stand there with your bottle of Jack, looking all wasted. It's retarded. That's just been done. You know what I mean? It's boring. Like, find something more interesting to talk about.
It's the
You're
easy
promoting
route.
a bad thing for people.
It's usually the easy route too. It's like anyone can just pick that up and put it in their arm, but
You know,
it's
lean,
can
like-
you say no to it?
yeah.
can you fight that peer pressure? Can you you know, like come up with something a little more creative and a little more exciting with your life?
Yeah.
It's easy to be a drug addict when you've sold like 10 million records. You know what I mean? It's hard to be.
Very catered to
You're
at that
safe.
point,
It's safe to be addicted to drugs when you have, you know, $1 million bank account. But for your average person, you should.
There has been some like rock stars who've maintained that lifestyle still to this day. It's crazy, man.
Like, you know, like a Keith Richards. But you can't really criticize Keith Richards because he's been doing that since he's one of the originators of that. He's a pioneer, so you can't. He
started that shit.
He's not following anybody. But like, there's a guy that you know can afford to indulge himself because he's got, you know, if he ever gets into deep water, he's got an easy way out. Just spend money.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard because you can't help everybody. You can't police everything. You can't change everybody. But I mean, I feel like our music is so opposite of that. We try to inspire people in a positive way in everything that we do. You know, and nobody in this band is perfect. Nobody in the whole entire band is straight edge. You know, everybody's had their issues and problems. I mean, I've been straight edge my whole life, just me. But and he's sober now, you know, and it's like I
was a big drinker.
He was going through shit. You know, everybody goes through things in life, but I don't know. It's sad because just losing somebody. Period. Like we've had friends die of just health issues, but to addiction it's horrible, especially when you know the person, you know them before the addiction, you know them when they were just drinkers and they were just smoking weed, then they was doing a little this and that, and then it just
and it doesn't even always necessarily have to end in something as final as death. I mean, I'm sure most people, even everyone knows people that are addicted to something, even if it's something like as minimal as pot, right, which is a fairly like not dangerous drug, you know what I mean, but I'm sure everyone knows someone that's just a fucking waster, you know what I mean, that like all they do is sit at home and get high, and they don't achieve, you know, they don't do anything. Like that in its own way is a tragedy of addiction too. You know, I mean, this person, like some people are really creative on weed and really proactive, but most people just waste their time.
I can honestly say that I feel like unless you guys know any other genre of music besides hardcore and punk that promotes healthy, clean lifestyles, because I don't know any other type of music that's sang about stuff that was anti doing drugs and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not many bands. That's why this music's so powerful and so real, because it sings about real stuff like that. And a lot of people have images they have to obtain in the bigger bands, and like they're in the spotlight. This cool kind of rock star thing, and that's something about hardcore that's always stuck with me as a kid, and that's why I've been straight edge my whole life, because you know I was listening to crazy punk rock music and skateboarding. There was Fuck Your Parents, Anarchy in the UK, then you hear like 7 Seconds of Minor Threat about making a difference, Youth of Today, these bands, and that stuck with me as a kid. And then like I couldn't get that from a rock and roll arena band. I couldn't get that from hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't get that inspiration. And I feel like this music's helped me, and it's helped a lot of people. And I wish more people were into it, but at the same time, I wish not everybody was into it, because it's our like little underground world, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's
totally. You want to keep it special.
But there's so much positive about hardcore and punk rock, man, that not many people know. You know, and how it could change people in such a positive way. And there's so much out there for kids, especially being a dad, having an 8-year-old son. There's so much. They get exposed to so much these days with the internet and just everything in general, the surroundings, billboards, everything. There's so much negativity out there for young kids, and there's, it's crazy.
All right, well, that about wraps it up. You guys are playing tonight, Gramercy Theater. New album out, Bridge 9 Records. Don't forget your roots.
We're gonna catch it.
All right,
yes.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.